Hello, my friends. My name is Paul Joseph. I've been in the fashion and beauty industry for the past 40 years, and I've created this channel basically to share my experiences during that time. I will also be talking about personal stuff off and on and many other things, and talk about where I am now in Barcelona. But basically, it's going to be talking about my experiences in the fashion and beauty industry in the past 40 years. If you are new to this channel, welcome, and I would ask you to subscribe. That will support this channel and make it possible to share more stuff. So, and also, I've learned how to timestamp these videos, which means that if you don't want to hear the whole thing, down here there should be like a line where it shows you the progress or the status of the video, and it should be kind of like divided and have these little titles, so that you can go directly to whatever information. Now, again, I would ask you to subscribe and listen to the whole video. Well, this video, I've started it because one of my followers asked me to do one talking about straightening systems, straightening hair. And from the sounds of it, or the looks of it, it seems like she wants to know the difference between one and the other, and why are they, or which one is better as far as hydrating or making her hair silky and beautiful, soft for the for I guess permanently. Well, the expectation, truth or false of it, is that not all straightening systems, well, actually, the only straightening systems that I would talk about is the sodium hydroxide straightening system or the no-lye straightening system. Sodium hydroxide is the chemical that is used as a cream hair relaxer. It comes in regular and it comes in tinted. For tinted hair, and it's usually used mainly by ethnic groups, specifically the Black community, because their hair is like really strong, so they need, and it's very tightly curled, so it needs something strong enough to straighten the hair, and but it not necessarily makes it shiny and silky. Then there's the no-lye relaxer, which the sodium hydroxide is considered a lye. The chemical is lye. So these are no-lye, meaning that it's made with the chemical that is used for perm waving, cold waves. Ammonium thioglycolate, thioglicolato de amonia, it's in Spanish. And and these are, and there's some out there that are amazing, like the Chi and the Liscio. I used to use Liscio. It was great. It was very expensive, but the Liscio would leave your hair in a really good condition. Now, the two things, the one thing about these two is that they are permanent relaxers. They will, once you do them, the structure of your hair has changed permanently. The keratin bonds in these products. Now, there's a lot of people out there in the industry who are promoting, marketing, and suggesting keratin treatments as straightening services. Okay, that's fair, because the unintended consequence of a keratin treatment is that it straightens hair, and that has to do with the formaldehyde, which I'll talk a little further down. And you look at it look for it in the timestamp. The other thing, like a regular keratin treatment, should last anywhere in between 4 and 6 months before you have to redo it again, to keep the effect of the keratin. Now, the thing with keratins, and then there's these other products called like BOTOX and the Brazilian Blowout, which I've never really tried them. All I heard was feedback from clients and other hairdressers, as to what they were. And as far as I think, it's Botox and the Brazilian Blowout are keratin treatments, except that I feel that they're more diluted, that they're not as strong as a regular keratin. So this is why these things have to be done every month or every other month, because it just loses its effect. And usually, I don't know if you use a straightening iron with it at 450 degrees, but at least you blow the hair out, and it should work. I would imagine if you use a straightening iron, it'll last a little longer. Instead of lasting 4 weeks, it might last 6 or 8. Now, where do I want to go with this? The formaldehyde. Let's talk about the formaldehyde. So the expectation of, when you are styling hair, if you use the regular straightening systems, the no-lye and the sodium hydroxide, it's going to be hard to get your hair styled, or at least like if you want curl back into, style it with curls. It won't last because you've changed the hair permanently. You've broken the keratin bonds, so now the hair is straight. And so, when you hear people that they say that even with curling irons, that they, that yes, the hair can take the curl. However, it won't last an hour. Like in an hour, it's just like dead. Well, that's what's going to happen with your typical straightening systems. Now, keratin treatments, anything with keratin or formaldehyde, that is not the case. Because it doesn't break the bonds, the keratin bonds of your hair. So what that means is that yes, you're reinfusing keratin into the hair, making it silky and shiny. Of course, this is product choice. It has to do with the product. Some are better than others. Okay, same with the Botox. Same with the Brazilian Blowout. I'm not saying that these are bad products. It's just that it depends what your expectations are with these products. When you do your consultation with your clients, this is for hairdressers. When you do your consultation with your clients, be clear on what is it that they're looking for, because it has to do with cost. It has to do with cost. It has to do with longevity. How long is this treatment gonna last? And this is why I always kind of never bothered with the Botox or the Brazilian Blowout, because it was every month, and in the long run, is going to cost you the same thing as if you do a regular keratin, every 4 to 6 months, and or pretty much, because keratin is not cheap. The good stuff. The next thing I want to talk about is the formaldehyde, and like we said, it is the unintended consequence for keratin treatments to straighten hair. Yes, it will straighten hair thanks to the formaldehyde. Formaldehyde, necessary evil, like ammonia and peroxides are the necessary evils in color. Formaldehyde is the unintended, the necessary evil in keratin. Without the formaldehyde, it won't work, or it won't do what it needs to do. So I'm not a big green hairdresser. I need stuff to do what it needs to do. I need things to work. If something that's green and organic works, well, okay, fine. Ammonia color, I do not like ammonia-free color. And in another episode, we'll talk about that. What did I wanted to say? So the formaldehyde, how did formaldehyde come into the picture? As you know, formaldehyde has been in the beauty business industry for years. I believe it was in the 80s where it was started. People would complain that their nails would be too weak and they would break. They were constantly breaking, and that manicures wouldn't last, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Yada, yada, yada. And somebody had the bright idea to start a treatment, which was kind of like a polish that you would put. I can't remember, it was like a clear or something like that, but they would add formaldehyde to that treatment. And the formaldehyde would make sure that it hardened the nails so they won't break so easy. So that's kind of like what's happening with hair. The formaldehyde, when you're doing the flat iron, you're combing down those cuticles, and when the cuticle is well, you know, laying down, that's what makes the hair shiny. Yes, hair has cuticles, like scaling, like fish. So the formaldehyde, this keratin treatment was, I don't know if invented, but resurfacing of the product, or whatever you call it, it started in Brazil. In funeral homes, they saw that. I don't know how it came to be, but apparently when they were doing the hair for the cadavers, it would set the hair, it would be shiny, and it looked great, for viewings. And in Latin countries, viewing of the bodies is like it's very essential. It's like they want to have it, so they have to look good. So, anyways, that product came into America. People loved it. They embraced it. They ran to it. But because formaldehyde, when you put the heat, it goes into the air. It could be carcinogen. So the United States OSHA decided that the product had to have no more than 20%, I think it was, of formaldehyde in the product. And people are concerned about this, the damage. Clients don't have to be so concerned about it because they only do the treatment like twice a year. It's hairdressers that do it more often that have to be very careful. I used to use one of those huge masks for car painters used to use. But I'm getting off track here. Formaldehyde is the necessary product. What else did I wanted to talk about? So it started with a nail polish. So formaldehyde has been in our lives, for years, for decades. And again, I will reiterate that when you're doing consultations, you got to make sure what your client is really looking for, and do tell them their options, and don't give them false expectations or false hopes that they're because these things are not permanent. Of course, your hair is going to grow, and it's going to grow normal. So you have to, with the sodium hydroxide and the no-lie, you have to retouch the hair. With the keratin, it's kind of like the same thing. So yeah, and the treatment wears off. The thing you need to avoid when you have keratin treatments, to be able to keep the treatment, is that try to avoid swimming pools, try to avoid jacuzzis, because that chlorine in the water will help to erode the treatment. Beaches, I don't know. I'm going to leave that up to you. But you have to, and also using the right products. No sulfites in the shampoos, because sulfites in the shampoos, regular shampoos, will erode the treatment. One of my suggestions could be baby shampoo. In Miami, you can get two. You can get the Johnson & Johnson's baby shampoo. You can also get one that's called Violetas, which some people like it better than the Johnson's baby shampoo. So, I mean, those are options. Those are options you have as far as hair, aftercare of the keratin treatments. So, what else did I wanted to say? So these are the things you need to talk to your clients about. And as far as why does the hair feel dry and frizzy, like 4 months after the keratin? Well, because probably the treatment has eroded, and your hair is kind of going back to normal. If you color it and bleach it and do all sorts of things to the hair, well, and I don't know what shampoo you're using, or conditioners, which are important, get the good stuff. Doesn't have to be the most expensive one, but get good stuff. Some brands are like Schwarzkopf is good. The Bonacure, they have the Q10 line, which is very good. I used to use this leave-on spray that was amazing. So yeah. Again, if you're new or if you're a follower, you're listening to this, please, whatever I said, make comments. If there's something missing, something that you might sharing this information sparked a question for you, please make it in the comments. I will respond as soon as I can. And please subscribe. Like I said, it supports the channel, and it supports me to be able to continue doing this. Maybe get more, upgrade the equipment. Instead of using this, I could use one of those that, you clip it here and it sounds better. Has better sound. And maybe the camera. Maybe I can go walking outside with, and show you the city that I'm living in Barcelona. So again, thank you for listening. Thank you for being here, and I will appreciate your comments and your feedback. Thank you. Thank you for coming.